Hey guys, it's Patrick Count, and today we're talking about Judas Priest.
Yeah, we are going to be discussing seeing Judas Priest live last night, September 29th in Toronto, and then we're going to round it out with our top 10 Judas Priest songs each. So we'll talk about the show very briefly. Again, September 29th. Show started off with Corrosion of Conformity, a band I haven't listened to in a very long time, but they were very important to me in the 90s, as Deliverance was probably one of my first 10 metal albums that I ever bought. And I still have a couple other albums, but I sold quite a few of them off. But in any case, I really enjoyed their set. A 90s heavy set list for sure. I think they played like 3 songs off of Wise Blood and a couple off of Deliverance. And Albatross, that might be one of their biggest songs, but it is my sentimental favorite going back to when I was like 12. And I think, Patrick, you enjoyed their set quite a bit, I think.
Yep.
Right on. Next up, Judas Priest, co-headlining with Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper was last to hit the stage. I wish it were the opposite direction, but in any case, Judas Priest. We had a great time during their set. And like, what was your favorite thing about the concert?
I like the song choices, and I just thought it was funny when Rob Halford came out in like the bike.
Oh, when he came on his motorcycle near the end?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, you mentioned the set list, song choices. I totally agree. Because the number one thing about the set list was it was very Painkiller heavy. 5 of the 14 songs were from Painkiller, which is our favorite Priest album, definitely. And they played 2 songs off of Invincible Shield, the newest album that they're touring for. And they played Giants in the Sky, which is a solid song, but they also played Gates of Hell, which I think is probably the best song on the new album. But if I were to complain about the set list, I would say that there was one song off of Killing Machine, Hellbent for Leather, and there was 0 representation from the first 4 albums. The highlight for me, if we're not talking like song selection, I just really enjoyed watching and listening to the guitarists. They sounded great. I think Richie's always been a great showman. And I don't know if this is like old news, because, I mean, I've always been under the impression that, KK and Glenn back in the day would kind of switch off the soloing. But with the modern incarnation of Priest, seems like Richie is handling all the solos. We'll show our $20 parking lot bootleg t-shirts. Got the tour dates and stuff on the back. Pretty cool. And I'm always happy with the parking lot t-shirts, I'm not gonna lie. So we got those, and then headliner Alice Cooper. We're not gonna say a whole lot about him. We definitely enjoyed his set. It was heavier than I thought. He had like a better performance than I thought. He's just about 80 years old, looking like he's 50 out there. Played all the hits you'd want to hear. The only omission I thought was Welcome to My Nightmare. When it comes to like the hits, that's the only song that they didn't seem to play, if you ask me. And again, like, we're getting into October now. Kind of some Alice Cooper kind of fits the Halloween season. I remember being maybe like 5 years old. One of like my earliest memories is like Alice Cooper coming through town, and his picture was in the local paper with like a snake wrapped around his neck. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but this guy rules, and pinned that picture on my wall. And even though I never really became a huge Alice Cooper fan, that was one of my first instances of being attracted to rock and roll and metal music. So that's it for talking about the concert. Now we're going to talk about our top 10 Judas Priest songs of all time. Let's get started with Patrick. What is your number 10?
My number 10 is Breaking the Law.
From British Steel. One of their big hits. They did play that last night. And definitely one of my least favorite Judas Priest albums, but that is a fun song no matter how you look at it. Okay, my number 10 Gonna go with something a little different here. The Last Rose of Summer off of Sin After Sin. This is the first Judas Priest album I ever got, and I remember I bought this, well, on cassette, during the summertime, and Last Rose of Summer, it's just always kind of brought back summertime memories for me, and it's just a very nice song overall, and as you can see, one of my favorites. Patrick, what is your number 9?
My number 9 is the Ripper.
The Ripper from Sad Wings of Destiny. One of the best Judas Priest songs of all time, and you'll probably see that song somewhere on my list. My number 9, we're going to go with Hard as Iron off of Ram It Down. A song that I don't think people talk about nearly enough, but one of Judas Priest's most, one of their most metal songs, I think. Number 8.
Never the Heroes.
Never the Heroes off of Firepower. You're a big Firepower fan. That's probably like your second favorite Judas Priest album, I would take a guess at. And I will also agree that Firepower is the best album that Judas Priest has released. I say going back to Painkiller. Love it. Number 8 for me, Electric Eye off of Screaming for Vengeance. They played this song last night, and that was definitely one of the highlights for me. Number 7, Rock Hard, Ride Free.
Yep.
Off of Defenders of the Faith. And Defenders of the Faith, one of the very best Judas Priest albums, but individually, not a whole lot of songs that you're going to find on my list. Last night they did play Free Will Burning. That was good to hear. Okay, number 7. I'm going to go with Reckless off of Turbo. Kind of got to give a honorable mention to Locked In. Both of those songs I think are 2 underrated Judas Priest gems. Number 6.
All Guns Blazing.
Another song they played last night. Totally worked out in our favor, having all those Painkiller songs on there. And yeah, this whole album rules, but definitely one of my top 5 songs on here. Because the whole thing's good. Okay, we're going to stay on Painkiller for my pick. Nightcrawler. That one, again, that's probably like my second or third favorite song off this album. Totally rules. Number 5 is...
Never Can Coming.
Yeah, probably the band's biggest song, and another song they played at the concert. Back to Painkiller with the title track, Painkiller. On some days that might be my favorite Judas Priest song, but definitely my favorite Judas Priest solo, and probably the most metal song of all time. Number 4.
Lightning Strike.
Lightning Strikes off of Firepower. Not one of my favorite songs on here, but a strong one for sure. I mean, I'm looking at this track listing here. Traitor's Gate, Flamethrower, Never the Heroes, the title track. You can go on and on. Okay, number 4. We're going to take a step back in time to Sad Wings of Destiny and Victim of Changes. Probably the first indication of the greatness that Judas Priest would come to represent. Top 3 time.
Mine is Turbo Lover.
Turbo Lover off of Turbo. I heard something online. Don't know if it was a rumor or a fact, but something about Rob Halford stating that the next time Judas Priest goes on tour, he wants to make it a turbo heavy set list, much like this was a Painkiller heavy set list. And we are definitely Turbo fans here. Looking forward to that. My number 3 is Between the Hammer and the Anvil. Up there with Painkiller and Hard as Iron on my list as some of the most metal songs of Judas Priest's career. Number 2.
The Spectre.
Spectre, Back on Firepower. You know what? That song could also find itself on my top 10 list. I decided to not repeat that one. But yeah, that's probably my favorite song on this album as well. Okay, my number 2. On Defenders of the Faith, The Sentinel. One of my favorite Halford performances. One of my favorite KK and Glenn guitar team-ups. And as I said in our Judas Priest album ranking, that was the song that really hooked me to the band. Okay, time for our number 1. What do we have here?
Painkiller, like the song.
The song Painkiller, the title track from, in our opinion, their greatest album.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the guitar solo on that.
Probably the best solo of the career. Yeah. Okay, my number 1. Let's go back to Sad Wings of Destiny with track number 2, The Ripper. Simply iconic, one of the greatest metal songs ever, from like the subject matter to the vocal performance to the guitars, just creating metal the way we know it in real time. And that's it for our top 10 Judas Priest songs. Had a great time at the show last night, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.